A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Jerry, at Fair Oaks.
What are you doing out here in the quad?
Oh, hello, Lee.
Gee, I'm glad to see you. But your arm, it isn't broken, is it? What's it in the sling for, then?
Oh, the doctor wants me to keep it in a sling, so I'm sure not to use it. He wants me to rest it for a while.
Oh, I thought it was serious for a minute. Well, then outside of the arm, you're all right, huh?
Sure.
You're not very talkative. What did Dr. Campbell have to say?
Oh, nothing much. He took x-rays and gave me a good examination. He said I'd just have to take it easy for a while until the bruises heal.
Mm-hmm. You might have been hurt pretty badly. You're sure lucky.
Don't I know it?
Well, then take that glum look off your face. Gee, everybody in school's talking about the way you saved Cully. I'll bet you make the polo team now. Well, come on, say something. What's the matter with you?
I just got that letter from Mr. Randall.
Well, you did? Well, what did he say?
No.
What do you mean?
Well, he didn't send the money.
Did he say why?
Yeah, he said he liked the idea of my wanting to help somebody and also do business, but, well, he figured it was too much money for my first business venture.
Is that all he said?
Just about.
What are you going to do now?
Well, there's nothing else to do. No use writing to Mr. Randall again. I know him too well for that.
Are you going to tell Mac you couldn't get the money?
Uh-huh. I don't have to go to class this afternoon, so I think I'll go over and see Mac and have a talk with him. Hey, do you want to walk over to Mac's with me before you go to class?
Okay, sure.
Okay, come on then.
Did you happen to hear about Cully?
No.
I thought maybe Dr. Campbell told you.
Oh, what about him?
Well, they had a special officers meeting last night, and I understand Major Davis wrote Cully's father a letter and told him just what happened.
Uh-oh. That's not so good.
I'll say it's not. Oh, and besides that, he got 20 demerits, and he's going to lose all privileges for 30 days, too.
Jiminy, Sergeant Alden must have been plenty mad.
I'll say he was. That's one time Cully's show-off stunt didn't work.
And I guess he's through on the polo team.
Oh, certainly. That goes without saying. And I'll bet it goes without saying that you get his spot on the team.
But I don't know whether I want to be on the polo team or not.
I know what's the matter with you. You're just thinking about Mac and helping him get the money for his invention. And, oh, that's swell, but... Well, after all, Jerry, you've got to think a little bit about yourself, too. You did all you could, and now it's up to Mac to do the best he can.
Yeah? You don't know me. I don't give up that easy.
Well, what are you going to do?
Well, I'm going to try to get Mac to hold off a little longer, till I can figure something out. You know, the whole trouble is, Mac wants to keep his invention a secret. If it wasn't for that, well, maybe we could get Captain Gardner or somebody else to help him out.
Yes, he wants to keep it a secret, and then he tells a perfect stranger all about it himself and takes a chance of losing everything.
Hey, I've got it.
What?
Boy, why didn't I think of this before? Guy Linwell.
You mean Harold's dad?
Why, sure, he's just the man. He's an aviator. He can see the value of Mac's invention. I'll bet anything he'd be glad to help Mac.
Hey, you might be right at that. But how are you going to get in touch with him?
I'll have Harold write to him. Maybe get him to come to Fair Oaks and see Mac and talk with him and look the invention over.
Gee, it sure would be keen if you could.
One thing sure, I'm going to try. Now Mac's just got to hold off a little longer.
Yeah, I believe you got something there. I sure wish I could help you convince Mac.
Hey, you can come in for a little while, can't you?
No, I don't think I'd better. Study call will be coming in any second now. Besides, I'm not supposed to be off the campus. I'll just walk with you as far as the arch there.
Well, if he'll listen to me, I think I can convince him. I've got a real good argument now.
Oh, there's Mac just coming out of his store. He's hanging Duncan out.
Duncan?
Yeah, Mac's bird, the canary, you know.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot.
How you going to start, Jerry?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, what are you going to say first?
Oh, I don't know. It'll come to me. I'll just sort of lead up to it.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh. Oh, there's the call. I got to run for it. Good luck, Jerry. I'll see you this afternoon.
Hi, Mac.
Oh, greetings, Jerry.
Oh, well, hello to you too, Duncan.
Good to see you up and around. The report said that you were badly banged up. No, your arm's not broken, is it?
I just have to rest it. That's why it's in a sling.
Come on in the store, Jerry. Let me treat you to some ice cream. Huh?
Oh, swell.
Go ahead.
Okay, thanks, Mac. Hey, I thought you said the only time you treated anybody was when they first came to Fair Oaks and when they graduated.
Oh, well, I neglected to tell you, Jerry, that when a boy's been hurt, I do a little treating, too. Of course, that's not generally known. If it was, I know a lot of boys here at Fair Oaks that would go out getting themselves hurt on purpose just to be getting a soda or two free, huh?
Yeah.
What do you have, strawberry or chocolate?
Chocolate, please, Mac.
I might have known that. I don't think you've ever asked for anything but chocolate, have you, Jerry?
Huh?
I say, I guess chocolate's your favorite, huh, Jerry?
Oh, yeah, sure, Mac. Say, Mac.
Yeah?
Has Mr. Russell been back to see you yet?
No, but I expect him shortly. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if he's coming in any minute, no. Why?
I couldn't get that money for you, Mac.
Oh, well, that's all right, Jerry. I didn't want to discourage you, but I didn't think you'd be able to get it anyhow. $250 is a whole lot of money for a lad of your age to be getting.
But I tried, Mac. Honest, I did.
Well, I appreciate that, Jerry. Really, I do. Yes, sir, I appreciate it. Well, go on and eat your ice cream, no, it'll melt.
Mac, you're not going to sign that contract with Mr. Russell today, are you?
Why, certainly I am. I've put him off once already, and he didn't like it so well either. You can, it's not wise to treat a business deal lightly. Always remember the old saying, Jerry. Make hay while the sun shines.
Yeah, I know.
Well, it's true, Jerry. We've got to take advantage of our opportunities as they're presented to us. Yes, sir, lad. You've got to be alert in this world today. Besides, the deal looks good to me. I've put my trust in Mr. Russell, and I think he's a good man.
Smarter men than you've been fooled.
Well, I'll give you that. Now, mind, Jerry, I appreciate your interest. I really do, but you're wrong about Mr. Russell. Suppose you wait around a while and meet him. You'll change your mind about him if you do.
Oh, I'm sorry I said anything at all. I guess it was none of my business in the first place.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. I've listened to you, but I'm turning down your advice. So you've done all you can. Now it's up to me. That ice cream is beginning to look like soup. You'd better get at it.
Mac?
Aye?
When you get your working model built, you're going to have to try it out on an airplane, aren't you?
Well, yeah, that I'll have to do, yes, sir.
Well, have you got someone to try it out for you? I mean, someone with an airplane.
Well, no, I haven't. I figured that when the time comes, I'll go out to the airport and get acquainted with one of the pilots.
I think I know where you can get a pilot that'll test out your invention. And I wouldn't be a bit surprised, but what he might put some money in it, too.
Mm-hmm.
And even give you some help in perfecting it. That is, if you need any.
Well, losh, lad, who could this be?
Guy Linwell. Did you ever think of him?
Guy Linwell? Why, you mean Harold's father, huh?
Sure. He'd be just a person for it. That's his work. He's always trying out new aeronautical things. Why, he's one of the best test pilots in the country.
Aye, that he is, huh? Well, that's the trouble. He's too big a man and far too busy.
Well, how do you know? You haven't asked him.
Well, no, I haven't.
But you do agree with me that he'd be just the man for the job.
More than I could hope for. A man like Linwell would really put it over. Yes, sir. Put it over with a bang.
You bet he would. And especially if he had some money in it. Listen, Mac, I'll get Harold to write to his dad and ask him to come down here and see your invention and talk with you. What do you say?
Well, no, I don't know.
Gee, Mac, it's worth trying.
Aye, it is.
Remember, Mac, nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Now see here, Jerry Dugan, you're talking too much for a lad of your size. The first thing I know, I'll be letting Mr. Russell slip out of my hands, and I won't be getting the money at all.
Oh, Mac.
You paint a pretty picture, Jerry, a very pretty picture, but that's all it is. You can bear it in the hand.
Yeah, I know. Is worth two in the bush.
Aye, and that's right.
Hey, I got it.
Huh?
When Mr. Russell comes today, you tell him you haven't got time to go ahead with the working model now. Tell him to come back in a month or so.
Oh,
That'll give us time to see if we can get Mr. Linwell down here to see the invention.
Oh, no, Jerry. I couldn't say that. I have got the time, and I'm itching to get at it. Oh, losh, lad, I can hardly sleep nights for wanting to get at that thing and see it work. Now, wait a moment. Wait, no. You've set me to thinking, Jerry. Let me see the note.
What, Mac?
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll have a nice friendly talk with Mr. Russell. And then again, I might even tell him the truth. I might tell him... Yes, sir, I might go so far as to tell him I would like to get someone else in on it.
Oh, no, Mac. If I'm right, and I think I am, he'll talk you out of that. He wants the whole thing for himself, and he wants it now. He won't let you take it up with anyone else. He knows a bargain when he sees it, and he'll want to cinch the deal.
Oh.
Hey, you just watch and see.
Oh, well, now, didn't you worry about me getting talked into or out of anything?
I talked you into letting...
No, hush, lad. You merely set me to thinking, that's all. That's all you did. Mr. Russell's money is still as good as anyone else's, but you're right about Linwell being a better man for my invention. It's worth a try, and try we will, regardless of what Russell says.
Hooray for Mac!
No, wait. I'm not going to try to let Mr. Russell get angry. I might need him yet if we fail to get Linwell interested. I think he'll be reasonable, though. No. Well, that's settled, and you've won a point,
But now my work's just starting.
You're going to see that Harold writes to his father right away,
You bet I am.
Well, now, Jerry, do you want me to add something to the letter? Maybe, sort of give him an idea of what the invention is about?
No, I don't think that's necessary. You just leave the letter to me. Unless I miss my guess, Guy Linwell will be here as soon as he can after he reads what I'm going to say in that letter.
You're pretty sure of yourself now, aren't you?
Why not? It's got to be that way.
Well, that's the boy. He who is determined has half his work done.
Hey, I never heard that saying before. But it sure is a good one.
You bet it is, and a true one. Now, how about some fresh ice cream? You've let that dish melt away,
No, thanks, Mac. I've got to be going. I've got work to do.
Well, all right. Good luck, Jerry.
Thanks, Mac. I'll get Harold as soon as class is out, and we'll get that letter right on.
All right.
Hey, you do your part now.
Oh, I will.
Goodbye, Mac.
Goodbye. What a lad. Yep, what a lad. He's a great one, that Jerry Dugan.
countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight's story, First Contact, by Murray Leinster. They had been in space 6 months now, moving with the incredibly faster-than-light speed of the overdrive. In 6 months, they had gone from Earth outward and outward to the crab-like nebula with the twin stars. A routine flight of exploration and scientific research.
Solid object about 90,000 miles away, sir.
Located, Dort. Exactly. Identify it.
A small object, sir. Captain, I've never seen anything like this before. Whatever it is out there is coming toward us at an incredible speed and retreating to zero just as rapidly.
What's the mass of the object, Dort?
Well, it varies with the distance from us, sir.
Step up the scanners.
Well, nothing, sir. Absolutely nothing shows out there. And yet there must be something. Those alarms are foolproof.
Action stations, man all weapons. Condition of extreme alert in all departments immediately.
Captain, what is it?
Dort, I ran into the same thing once before on the Earth-Mars run. We were being located by another ship, and their locator beam was the same frequency as ours. Every time it hit, it registered as something solid and monstrous.
But, Captain, we're the only Earth ship in 18 light years around. How?
I didn't say it was another Earth ship out there, Dort.
Another race?
That's right. There's a spaceship out there, all right. But it's not manned by human beings.
It had been contemplated and speculated upon. Mathematically, it was almost a certainty that such a race existed. But in 18,000 Earth years, no human spaceship had ever encountered them. Now the situation was precipitated, and somewhere outside the Earth vessel there was an alien race. Of what shape? Of what quality? Of what psychology?
It's moving, sir. Heading right for us.
At that speed, we'll be in touch in 10 minutes. Heading right for us, huh? Just what we'd do if a strange ship appeared in our hunting grounds. Friendly? Well, maybe. We'll try to contact them. We have to do that. But friendly? Thank the Lord for the blasters.
They may not be hostile, sir.
Well, they may be. That's what I'm paid for. Put on this job for, to worry about the troubles that may never happen. To all hands, now hear this. A ship is approaching manned by an alien race. I'll give the signal for attack or defense if it be necessary. There'll be no move made unless I give the order. I do not wish to provoke trouble. Stand by.
Their ship is slowing down, sir. It's stopped.
Weapons Department, report. Weapons Department, report.
Alien ship remarked. Target fixed. Weapons alert.
Communications Department, report. Communications Department, report.
We're receiving a modulated short wave, sir. Frequency modulated. Apparently a signal. Not enough power to do us any harm.
Well, try to make some sense out of it. Report any progress to me immediately.
One thing in their favor, sir. They didn't attack immediately without question. They're trying to establish contact. That seems to indicate they're reasonable.
We'll see. What are they doing now? Can you make out the locator screen? Bring that power up.
Yeah, they're doing something now, sir. There's a section of the hull opening. Probably an airlock, sir.
If they breathe there.
Yeah, they're letting something out. Oh, it's round. A bomb, sir?
Unknown object released from alien ship. Observed by Weapons Department and targeted.
Stand by.
See what they're doing, sir? They've left the object out there right where they were. And now they're withdrawing the ship.
There's no reason why that object couldn't be a bomb, Mr. Dort. Intended to let us think precisely as you're thinking right now.
just have a hunch, sir. I think they're friendly. I think whatever it is out there is a means of communication.
You're probably right, but I won't gamble the ship on a probability.
Sir, I'd like to volunteer to go out there and look that thing over.
You understand whoever does examine it is expendable.
Yes, sir.
Requisition a lifeboat.
If it's all right with you, sir, I'd prefer just a suit with the drive in it. It's smaller and the arms and legs won't make me look like a bomb. And I'll carry a scanner, sir.
You may leave when you're ready.
Thank you, sir.
I'm all ready. Clear the lock and let me out. Weapons Department reporting to the captain. Mr. Dort located. Mr. Dort is targeted.
Stand by. If that object out there is a device to capture one of our people for observation and questioning, it'll be blown out of existence, including Mr. Dort. Stand by. Mr. Dort. Mr. Dort. Report.
Object, as you can see on the scanner, sir, is covered with many small horns, like the detonating horns of the obsolete mines formerly used in naval warfare.
Is that their purpose, do you assume, Mr. Dort?
I'm going to find out, sir. I'm going to grab one.
Mr. Dort.
I'm here, sir. I don't think this is a mine.
Circle it so we can see it completely through your scanner.
Deadlock, sir. Nothing to report that the scanner hasn't shown you. Oh, wait a minute, sir. A section of the outer hull seems to be opening. Do you see it?
Very good, Dort. Hold that.
I'm sure it's a communications device, sir.
It looks like it. Fix your scanner so it'll focus on that communications device. Return to the ship.
Communications Department. Progress report, please.
We've established communication, sir.
Is there a psychologist on the team down there with you?
Yes, sir. Mr. Burns is working with us.
Will both of you please report to the bridge at once?
Oh, you look tired, Dort.
We've established fairly satisfactory communication, sir. They seem to have highly developed thought patterns. We got a satisfactory translation from the machine on the fourth attempt. We can say almost anything we want to say to each other now. Of course, how much of what they tell us is the truth, we have no way of knowing.
Mr. Burns, you're the psychologist. What do you think?
Well, I don't know, sir. They seem to be completely direct. They haven't let slip even a hint of the tenseness we know exists. They act as if they were setting up a means of communication for friendly conversation, but, well, there's an overtone that...
Yeah? Well, Mr. Burns, I have a decision to make. On the one hand, opening contact with the friendly people of a vastly different culture could only be beneficial to us a very. On the other hand, if they're hostile, I ought to blast them out of existence without any other preliminaries.
Oh, but, sir, you can't...
I'm not talking to you, Dort.
It's not warranted yet, sir.
Yes. Now, hear this, all departments. Hear this, all departments. This ship is on an extended alert. Provisions will be made so that personnel can have maximum rest and nourishment.
Communication continued by means of the artificial language set up arbitrarily between the Earthmen and the aliens, decoded by the mechanical decoders. Dort disobeyed orders. He lived on powerful stimulants so that he could stay with the communications machine. Talking to the aliens.
Other people. Are we being received?
We are receiving your message.
The chief of this ship wishes to speak with the chief of your ship.
The message is heard by the chief of this ship. The chief of this ship communicates that he will hear the message of the chief of that ship.
Go ahead, sir.
People of the other ship, I'd like to say the appropriate things about this first contact of two dissimilar civilized races, and of my hopes that a friendly intercourse between the two peoples will result.
People of that ship, what you say is all very well, but is there any way for us to let each other go home alive?
That's all, sir. They've stopped sending.
Very direct people. Very direct.
But, sir, I don't follow. I didn't know what that meant. Is there any way for us to let each other go home alive?
It means what it says, Dort.
Sir, what's to stop us from just cutting communication and leaving? And they can do likewise.
What's to stop us? Simply that whichever ship leaves first will be followed by the other. If they find Earth and get back to their own planet and we don't know where that planet is, Earth will be completely at their mercy. If they leave first, we'll follow them. We'll attempt to find their home planet. Dort, could you swear to any decision that the policymakers on Earth will come to?
Sir, even if they do follow us, the closer we get to home, the more of our ships and weapons they'll face. They'd never get away.
Well, how do you know that they can't communicate with their home planet without returning?
We can't, sir.
How do you know they can't?
I don't, sir.
So that's the situation. We'll sit out here, facing each other, trying to outguess each other, until time wears us out. And we'll have to face the fact. Either they destroy us or we destroy them. Navigation officer, attention. Navigation officer, attention. Every star map on this ship is to be prepared for instant destruction.
The chief of this ship wishes to know whether the chief of that ship can suggest an answer to the problem concerning us both.
Do you want me to answer that, sir?
I'll answer it myself. Tell me when to talk.
Now, sir.
I am giving that matter personal attention. Every effort will be bent to the solution of this problem. Will you consider a temporary truce in the meantime?
What would a truce gain? Could we trust you? Would you trust us? I suggest that we continue as we have up to this particle of time.
I agree. Sign off, Bill.
Weeks went by, and during the weeks, the exchange of information continued without let-up.
What particle of time are the people on that ship at?
The resting time. All rest except myself and others on alert duty.
Same on this ship.
You people of that ship are very similar in many ways. Do you have a family?
I have a mate.
I have a mate and 3 offspring. It is too bad for them, as well as us, to have to kill each other.
This ship can't see any way out of it. Can that ship?
If we could believe each ship, yes. Our chief would like it. But we can't believe you, and you are afraid that we do not tell truth, although we do. This ship would trail you home if this ship were able to. That ship would do the same. But this ship feels sorry about it.
I believe you're a friend.
I share your belief and like you. But there is a possibility that you were put to make a trap for me. I will stop now and think it over.
Sit down, Dort. Control yourself. We're all under tension. Doesn't do any good to pace like some caged animal.
Yes, sir.
All right, now, I've read the complete transcription of your conversations with this one alien. What does it prove, Dort?
Sir, these people are so much like us in their thinking. Well, sir, they're likable.
They're likable and they breathe oxygen. Their air is 28% oxygen instead of 20. But they could do very well on Earth. It would be a highly desirable conquest for them. Dort, I'm as set against violence as you are. I don't see any way out of this. And I think we've got to break this status quo. So if in 70 hours we don't see any other way, then I have no further choice. I'll blow them to bits.
Will that ship receive communications? Will that ship receive communications?
This ship is listening.
It seems to me better to communicate than to sit by the machine silently.
I would have called you, but you signed off before.
The problem goes around and around. I find no answer.
Perhaps we could turn our thoughts to other things.
The psychologist of this ship tells us that you people on that ship have a threshold of tolerance to tension. He tells us that you will be forced to take one action or another in a period of less than 100 time particles.
I have no communication on this matter.
Well, the ship is not trying to extract unwilling information from that ship. A truth is mentioned in passing.
A report of this conversation will be carried to the chief of this ship.
It would be so. We are prepared.
If only the people of this ship could meet in direct contact with the people of that ship, it might be better.
We could not communicate then. The communications machine is too large to carry from place to place. In direct contact, the peoples of the two ships would be further apart than now.
That's true.
I am sad. Much that is pleasant has passed between us.
I am sad, too.
We are not yet ready for each other.
We are not yet ready for each other.
It's hard, isn't it, Doc?
Well, Captain, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were here, sir.
I've been here for quite a while. Eavesdropping, I'm afraid.
It's all right, sir. Nothing can be personal in a situation like this.
Yeah, that's right. How long is 100 time particles, Dort?
Pardon, sir?
That reference he made to us not being able to stand tension is interesting. Their psychologists seem to make more out of us than we do out of them, don't they?
Yes, sir. They hit the nail right on the head.
Yes, they did. I think, Dort, we'll just have to push our timetable up a bit. No further communication with the aliens under any circumstances. That's clear, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Sir, if they know so much about our psychology, isn't it possible that remark was intended to make us act more quickly?
Probable, Dort. Probable.
Well, why would they do that, sir? Why?
You tell me why, Dort.
All of a sudden, I have an idea, sir. It's crazy.
It doesn't matter how crazy. I'll listen to it.
Sir, I think these people are playing some kind of a joke on us.
Joke? A joke, Dort?
Yes, sir. Over and over again, I've noticed what I think is a sense of humor. A highly developed sense of humor. Do you recall when we went to all the trouble to set up a fictitious star map and then they just sent us back a mirror image of the same one? I think somehow they're playing a joke on us.
Well, maybe you're right. In which case, you've seen practical jokers, Dort. Their jokes aren't always funny. Sometimes they hurt people. All departments, man, instant alert. All departments, man, instant alert. Report instantly. Report instantly.
Weapons Department alerted.
Target, the enemy ship.
On target, sir.
Stand by. Fire!
They're gone, sir. Not a trace of them left. Not a tiny trace. Now we can go home.
Communications to Captain. Communications to Captain.
Report.
Sir, I'm picking up new signals. Same frequency as the original alien signals.
That's impossible. That ship was destroyed.
I'm receiving signals, sir.
Set the machine up. We'll be down there in a minute. Mr. Dort, come with me, please.
It's good to be on the way home. Yes, it is good. Do you suppose we'll ever figure out what happened to the other ship?
Never. A blinding flash and they were gone.
I suppose they couldn't figure a way out of the situation. An unstable people. They had no sense of humor to cope with the situation. They exploded themselves out of existence.
It seems reasonable.
They must have had powerful weapons to destroy themselves so completely.
Yes, what a shame.
In a way, I grew to like them.
This isn't meant for us, sir. I don't know what's happening, but I think we're overhearing a private conversation.
I understand, Dort. Be quiet, will you?
Many things might have come out of a relationship with that people.
They were describing a disease they call cancer. I think it is similar to the Frogren syndrome. We might have helped them.
They might have helped us, too. Well, too bad. We'll never find them again, I think. The odds of such a chance meeting in the vast space of the whole universe. There are no figures for such odds, are there?
Turn it up, Gord. Turn it up louder.
That's all there is, sir. The signal stopped there. Sir, I don't know how, but somehow when we fired at them, we didn't destroy them, but we did set up a condition whereby they've become invisible to us, and we've become invisible to them.
Captain to Engineering Department. Halt forward motion.
Captain, why are we stopping?
Listen, George, you say they're invisible. They are, but they're not destroyed because we just heard them. They're out there somewhere. Invisible.
Well, you heard them, so they're heading for home. We're invisible to them, too, sir.
How do you know, Dort? How do you know this whole thing isn't a setup?
Well, suppose that's true, Captain. You heard their conversation. They weren't talking like any monstrous people. They seemed decent and warm, just as decent and warm as we are.
How do you know this conversation wasn't planned, deliberately set up for us to hear? How do you know that, Dort?
Yes, sir, you're right. They may be out there and they may not. They may be telling the truth or they may be trying to trick us. They may be friends or they may be the most deadly enemies.
You said they had a sense of humor, Dort. What a joke to play. To deliberately set up a situation where we wouldn't know fact from fantasy, truth from lie. Wouldn't that be a joke, Dort?
Yeah, but we don't know that they did that, sir.
And we don't know that they didn't. We don't know anything.
Sir, does that mean we never go home again?
I don't know. I have to think about it. I have to think about it.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you First Contact, written by Murray Leinster and adapted for radio by Howard Rodman. Featured in the cast were Wendell Holmes, Bob Hastings, Clark Gordon, William Lally, and Stan Early. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
Next week at this time, over most of these stations, NBC will present This is Carnegie Hall, a special concert featuring the Symphony of the Air Orchestra.
When Jerry Hall managed to get a homing pigeon off through the magnetic fog ring surrounding the Magic Island, the hopes of the Gregory party ran high. Several hours have now passed. It is daylight. The pigeon should have reached the rescue boat with Johnson aboard, but no word has come from Johnson. The radio is silent. Mrs. Gregory and Joan are pacing the deck of the yacht, waiting for news, while Jerry and Captain Tex Bradford are looking around on the strange Isle of Euclidia.
Here it is after 8 o'clock, Joan. That pigeon has been gone for 8 hours. And if Johnson has the other boat in the position we expect him to be in... Oh, I forgot we're being overheard, of course.
No, Mother. When the fog ring is down and the air is clear, as you see it today, it is almost impossible for the sound waves to be picked up this far from the control room. It is only when we are indoors or against some opaque surface that the danger of being overheard is great. And with the fog ring down, there is nothing for the sound waves to be refracted from.
Then G47 and his men must figure that they're very safe today.
I have never seen the island as unprotected as it appears to be now. And that is dangerous, Mother.
In what way, dear?
Nothing on Euclidia is ever what it appears to be. And the fact that it is apparently quiet and safe makes me very sure that some horrible danger threatens.
Well, what could happen, Joan? I feel we're all reasonably safe so long as G47 wants Captain Bradford's formula and doesn't get it.
That is true. But how long will it be before he does get it?
I think you're needlessly afraid of these scientists, Joan. Tex Bradford is one of the cleverest men I know, and it's entirely possible that he may outwit G47.
I hope you are right, Mother dear.
How good it is to hear you say that, Mother dear. For 14 long years I've looked the world over for you, and at last we're together. Everything seems so bright and cheerful today, the sea so green and sparkling, the air so clear. It's almost as if this island were all a horrible dream.
All that is because the alarms and prisms show there is no boat within 200 miles of us. But let one of those alarms ring, or a shadow cross the plate of one of the reflectors, and in less than 30 seconds the ring of magnetic fog will surround and cover the island, and it becomes just a prison, shut off from the world.
We'll find some way to get back to that world, dear, and then you'll love it just as we do.
One thing that worries me, Mother...
Yes, dear?
That little pigeon left there in his coat. Should we not hide it? G47 was taken away as soon as he discovers the other one has been used.
Tex and I thought of that, but decided it was safer to leave it there.
But, Mother... Mother?
Yes, of course, but he should be.
Mother, what are you talking about?
What? Oh, excuse me, dear. But the significance of something you said a moment ago just occurred to me.
Something I said?
Yes. You said the fog was not in use, and the watch relaxed on the island because the alarms registered no disturbance within 200 miles.
That is right, Mother. A boat of any size with motors running would set off the alarms at 200 miles.
Then that means that Johnson is not where we expected him to be. He should be within 200 miles. And if he's not, where is he?
Would that mean the little pigeon could not get to him?
It might, though twice the distance would be easy for the bird. But if Johnson's boat is running away or far off the course, it could give the pigeon serious trouble.
Then Captain Bradford's formula would be lost with the little pigeon.
The formula wouldn't matter. If it didn't fall into someone else's hands, as Tex could always write that out from memory. But I would hate to lose a little Homer. We've used them all over the world and never lost one.
Mother, this Tex you call Captain Bradford, his name is Charles Bradford, is it not?
Yes, dear. Tex is only a nickname. Most of the captain's old friends call him that. I think he learned to fly in Texas during the war.
And your name is Patricia. Yet Captain Bradford calls you Pat. Is that also a nickname?
Yes, dear. Pat is short for Patricia.
But then I want a nickname also. The captain is Tex, you are Pat, Gerald is Jerry, and I want to be... It is not so easy to make a nickname for Joan, is it?
I want to hear your name, Joan. It's both short and pretty, and I like it.
It is a nice name, Joan Gregory. And you gave my name to this beautiful boat. You are a wonderful mother.
Hey, Mrs. Gregory, Joan, where are you?
Back here at the stern rail, Jerry.
Okay, come up.
That Jerry is such a noisy boy, Mother. But I like him. He always wants to laugh and make fun of things.
Jerry's a fine, happy lad, and Tex and I are glad we brought him.
Oh, boy, have I got some news. Captain Bradford sent me over here to tell you folks about it. He'll be along in a minute.
What is it, Jerry?
You have a happy sound in your voice, Jerry. It must be that you have good news.
Has Tex found out something to our advantage?
He sure has. But we'd better get in the cabin, Mrs. Gregory.
It is perfectly safe to talk here, Jerry, when the fog ring is down.
That's what you think. But when I was over in the sound chamber with Tex, we heard you and Mrs. Gregory talking about the pigeon.
Oh, then we said too much.
Oh, you didn't say anything G47 didn't know already. He saw there was only one pigeon at daylight, and of course he tumbled quick that the other one had been sent away. He just laughed at us.
Then what could you have to tell that would be good news?
Well, come inside the cabin where we'll be safe with the opaque cloth.
Right.
Then I'll tell you about it as much as I can till Tex gets here.
Now, what is it, Jerry?
Well, old G47 let Tex and I look through the universal prism reflectors. They were trying to locate Johnson's boat. They got wise about the boat as soon as they noticed the pigeon was gone, I guess.
And could you see the boat, Jerry?
Yeah, that's why old G47 is up a tree.
G47 is up a tree?
Oh.
Where is the tree, Jerry?
Forget it. I mean, it's got G47's goat.
Got his goat? But G47 has no goat.
Never mind, my dear. Just let Jerry tell his story.
Gee, thanks, Mrs. Gregory. I can't teach English and tell a story at the same time. Now, look. G47 is worried because a boat got inside the 200-mile alarm limit without setting off the alarm. And it's Johnson's boat, too, I guess. But Tex wouldn't say a word in front of those scientists over there. Just look wise.
That doesn't sound just right, though, Jerry. Johnson would have been tearing along with his motors wide open, and that alarm would surely have picked it up.
Can't that boat be used as a sailboat?
Why, of course. It's equipped with sail as an emergency measure, but I still...
But nothing. Johnson's got the sails up. The motors ain't working, and he's sneaking within 200 miles of here.
That is remarkable, Jerry. Could you see the boat plainly in the reflectors?
Yeah, we could see it all right. But that's where the big laugh comes in, and old G47 is stuck.
I can't see why you feel so cheerful about it, Jerry. Joan has told us that their aeroplanes will do 500 miles an hour.
Yes, Jerry. And if Johnson's boat has been located within 200 miles of here, it will be an easy matter for G47's men to go out and destroy it and be back here in less than an hour.
Well, I guess it would be if G47 wanted to destroy it.
Jerry, what do you mean?
Well, what I mean is... Oh, here's Tex now. He can tell you better than I can.
Well, Jerry, I see you've started on the news.
Well, he hasn't told us enough to do us any good, Tex.
Is your Mr. Johnson's boat really within the 200-mile limit, Captain?
Yes, and our scientific friends don't seem to know just what to do about it.
But, Tex, they'll attack Johnson, won't they?
I think not. I dropped a hint or two as to what would happen if they did.
But, Captain, it would be very easy for these Euclideans to destroy one boat without danger to themselves.
Sure, but that's the catch in it, Joan. They don't want to destroy it.
G47 figures that Johnson has come to rescue us, and that he will have all our valuable equipment on board, including the materials necessary to compound my formula. And naturally, he wants those materials.
Then why doesn't he just capture the boat and take what he wants? Though he wouldn't find it on board, would he?
No, but as I started to tell you, I dropped a small hint that spoiled all their plans, and will hold them steady for a while, I think. G47 admitted he knew about the Pigeon, so I admitted that the message on the Pigeon contained orders to Johnson to abandon and destroy the ship if attacked.
Did you really send such orders?
No, but G47 won't harm that boat as long as he thinks anything of value is on it.
Wonderful, Tex. Now we have time to get the truth to Johnson.
I do not like it at all.
Why? What's the matter with it?
G47 would not give up so easily. Something is wrong.
What could he do about it?
Many things. And I'm afraid you will hear more from G47 about this.
Oh, you're always so gloomy.
Joan has lived 14 years on this island, Jerry. She knows more about the power here than we do.
Even so, I don't see where anything could be wrong with this unless... That could be it.
What, Tex?
June, could those reflectors they let me look in be tampered with? I mean, so that they could distort the image for me and see it clearly themselves? See something they did not let me see?
I am not sure, but I know that unless you understand the readings of all the instruments and graphs on them, it would be easy to confuse you as to what you were looking at.
Gee, Tex, you don't think there's any mistake about that? You'd know Johnson's boat, wouldn't you? I mean, as plain as we could see it there.
Well, I ought to, kid, but Joan has set me wondering.
You think it's possible they showed you a false image or the image of another boat just to get you to say or do something that might help them to locate and run down Johnson's boat easier?
How about that, Joan? Could that be done?
It could be done easily. I remember when that poor old sailor was here on the island, the Euclideans would often let him look in the reflectors and show him a battleship approaching, telling him it was coming to take him home. And then they'd laugh at him and show him it was merely a reflection of a ship model being built in one of the construction chambers right here on the island.
Oh, this is certainly a mad setup.
Joan's all worried because G47 isn't worried enough about the Pigeon. What do you think, Captain?
Yeah, that worries me, too. And now that Joan has shown me that my visit to the reflectors might have been just a game at my expense, I don't know.
And then, too, you must remember that the alarm did not ring. And if your boat was within 200 miles, it should have rung.
And if the boat is not within 200 miles, that's equally as bad, as Johnson couldn't possibly know enough of what we're up against here to keep outside the 200-mile limit.
That one code message we got through to him on the radio, that might have tipped him off to staying away.
Yeah, but if he turned off too soon and ran away too fast and too far, Pigeon didn't get to him. So there we are, right back where we started. Come in.
G47.
Oh, gee whiskers.
The Pigeon. He's got the Pigeon, Tex.
Yes, I see.
If you have finished your stupid soliloquies, one of you might want to take this Pigeon and return it to the coat.
Then the Pigeon didn't get through the fog? But why? There's nothing metallic on it.
A ring of gas within the fog. The bird fell to the island.
Then you've had that Pigeon since midnight last night?
And all that show of worry over the boat and the reflectors was for my benefit, eh?
Tex, your formula's gone from the bird's leg.
Oh, Captain Bradford, G47 has your formula.
Precisely. My assistants are working to compound it in the laboratory now. When they succeed, the lives of you three will be of no further use to the world.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P, Pep. Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine Cereal, presents The Adventures of Superman. Today, Horatio Horn has again walked into trouble. Serious trouble, as he and Lois Lane find themselves recaptured by the villain, Carlos.
Hello there, gang. This is your pal, Dan McCullough. Say, how's breakfast at your house? Is it just breakfast? Or is it a snappy sort of meal that looks good, tastes good, and helps you feel good about starting a new day? I mean, gang, does your breakfast start off with a sunny bowl of Kellogg's Pep? Yes, sir. Pep is an appetite tickler from way back. It's called the Sunshine Cereal, you know. So it's packed to the brim with sparkling sunshine flavor, a toasted full wheat flavor that keeps your spoon digging in for more. And are those whole wheat flakes crisp? Are they crunchy? Why, they practically melt in your mouth. Believe me, it's no trouble at all to keep right at your morning dish of Kellogg's Pep until you've polished off every last tender flake, which is always a good idea because Pep is good for you. Sure, gives you solid whole wheat nourishment plus. And it's particularly important nowadays to eat all your Pep and to pour it out carefully, too, because the cereal grains are being sent to help give good nourishment to fellows and girls overseas. So you don't want to waste cereal. Tell the rest of your family about that, gang. When Mom brings Kellogg's Pep home from the grocer's, make sure you eat all your Pep. Don't waste it.
And now, the adventures of Superman. Plotting to obtain the secret of our atom bomb, agents of the country of Bolomar abducted Professor Alonzo Sturgeon, one of America's foremost atomic scientists. Posing as ichthyologists, the conspirators charted an American plane, and arriving in Bolomar with the professor concealed in a crate, sabotaged the plane so that it would crash on its return journey. Superman rescued the critically injured pilots in the Gulf of Mexico and took them to a New Orleans hospital, where he is now waiting anxiously for them to revive. Meanwhile, Lois Lane and Horatio Horn, the little amateur detective, had arrived in New Orleans. At the airport, they spotted one of the abductors, a man named Carlos, and followed him to a waiting car. Rashly, Horn attempted to stop Carlos, who produced a gun and ordered them into the car. As we continue now, our friends have been driven several miles from New Orleans. Stopping on a lonely, moonlit country road, Carlos and his husky chauffeur force Lois and Horn to leave the car and walk into a tree-lined field of sugar canes. Listen.
This is far enough. Stop.
Far enough for what? Yes. What are you going to do, Carlos?
What I thought I had done last night, Senorita Lane. Get rid of you and the Senor Horn.
You put that gun down. Wait, Carlos. Don't shoot.
Adios, my friend.
1 minute. A last request. I demand to be blindfolded. That's a formality always granted a condemned man.
You're afraid to face death, senor?
Yes, I am.
Why, Mr. Horn.
See how the Yankee shakes, Paulo. Like a scared dog.
I say, Capitan, but permit me to suggest it would be best to dispatch him and the senorita at once. Remember, we have long journey to make.
I know. But another moment will make no difference. Blindfold the coward.
But, Capitan...
Do as I say, Paulo. The honor of our army demands that his last request be granted.
As you desire, Senor Capitan.
Thank you, Captain Carlos. Thank you.
It is nothing, senor. But I thought that...
Mr. Horn, look out.
You diablo.
How do you like that?
Good heavens.
Lucho, what is this? Get off my chest, Paulo!
Go on, Miss Lane, quickly.
What are we going to do?
Run for those trees fast.
But Mr.
Don't
Horn...
talk. Run. Faster, Miss Lane. If we can get in among those trees, we might get away.
I can't believe it. You're thrown over your head. Right into Carlos.
Nothing sensational. Just a little judo. Don't stop, Miss Lane.
You think I'm crazy? Oh, that's right past my head.
Don't worry. They can't see us now in these trees. But keep going, Miss Lane.
This isn't a very thick wood.
No, but it's pretty dark in here. If we keep going...
Oh!
What happened, Miss Lane? Quick, get up.
I can't. My ankle. I turned it under me.
Great grasshoppers.
Oh, God.
Here, let me help you. Here they come. Can you walk, Miss Lane?
Not very well. Oh, dear.
This is a fine mess of beans. If only you women had sense enough to wear sensible heels instead of stilts.
Oh, this is no time to discuss women's footwear.
I suppose not, but
They're coming closer. What do we do, Mr. Horn?
I don't know, by Gulliver. These trees aren't thick enough to hide us. Wait, that fallen log. Come on, I'll help you.
But that isn't big enough to hide behind.
There's a bit of a gully back of it, see? And lots of branches and fallen leaves. We'll get behind it and cover ourselves up. Here we are. Quick now. Crouch down. And cover yourself with these branches and leaves.
All right. There we are.
We have lost them, Senor Capitan?
Not yet. I know they went this way. We are sure to find them.
Keep your head covered. Stay close to the log. All right.
Hold, fellow.
Don't make a sound, Miss Lane.
You see them, Senor Capitan?
No. Be quiet. Perhaps we can hear where they are.
I do not hear nothing.
Nor do I. But I heard them a moment ago. They must be hiding close by.
They could only hide behind the trees. There are not so many trees in this small wood.
Exactly. You have your revolver?
Si, Capitan.
Then begin looking behind each tree. When you see them, shoot at once. You understand?
Si, si.
Come then. Slowly.
They're sure to find us.
I'm afraid so, by
You
God.
should salute, too. Do not walk at my side. Walk a few paces to the right. So we observe all the trees.
Si, I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Fool, idiot. All this trouble you make me by permitting the small Americano to treat
But
you.
he pretended to be so frightened. I was not prepared. And who could guess that small meek one has knowledge of jiu-jitsu?
That's as stupid donkeys. You could guess nothing. Hold. What is that?
I hear dogs, hounds.
See, it is dogs. But what do they do here?
Perhaps the Yankee police seek us.
Nonsense. How could they know we are here?
I do not know.
Hold your tongue and resume searching. The Americanos must be found and dispatched. Then we go to the boat. Move, Zaluto, swiftly.
Wait.
There are some fallen logs. Be sure to look behind them, too.
Si, Capitan.
I'm afraid this is it, Mr. Horn.
Quiet. Don't even breathe.
Senor Capitan, look there.
Where? What is it?
Through the woods there, you see? On the ridge where the hounds run. Moving lights.
I wonder who carries those lights.
I tell you, it is the Yankee police, Capitan.
No, it cannot be.
It must be, since the two reporters we seek recognize you at the airport. It is not possible that the Yankee detectives did likewise.
Perhaps.
Then they would have followed us, and now they charge with hounds. You see, they approach swiftly this way.
I do not like this. We must not be taken. Come, fellow, this way.
Well, I'll be jiggered.
What's happening, Mr. Horn?
Didn't you hear them? Look, they're running away.
What? I can't believe it.
It's true. It's true, I tell you. They were frightened away by the hounds.
Oh, how wonderful.
How perfectly hilarious.
Why, Mr. Horn, you're hysterical.
Quite hysterical.
Please, Mr. Horn, get hold of yourself.
No, I can't. This is so funny.
What's so funny about it?
Carlos, that very, very bad man. The fearless murderer, frightened out of his wits by...
Wouldn't you be frightened by a police search party if you were a criminal?
Those hounds aren't followed by the police.
What?
That's a party of raccoon hunters.
Good heavens.
Yes, our lives were saved by a good old Southern custom. Come, let's run to meet the hunters and see if they can help us run down Carlos and his man. Hello, you...
Excited by their unbelievably narrow escape from death, but still eager to catch Carlos, Lois Lane and Horatio Horn run toward the raccoon hunting party, hoping to enlist their aid in tracking down Professor Sturgeon's abductor. We'll return in a moment for the startling climax of today's episode. So stand by.
Now, gang, here's what you've been waiting for. Here's the story on this week's snappy new pep dish of the week. And it's mighty cool and refreshing these summer mornings. You ready? Here's the big announcement. This week's new pep dish of the week is a Blackberry Breeze. That's right, Blackberry Breeze teams up Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine cereal, with juicy, sugar-crusted blackberries. Easy as a breeze to make, too. Listen, on top of your regular serving of crisp, tender Pep, scatter a shower of blackberries that have been chilled in a little sugar. You finish off with cool milk, and that's your Blackberry Breeze. As cool and breezy a way to enjoy Kellogg's Pep as you can imagine. Of course, Kellogg's Pep is a swell summer dish. No matter how you serve it, it's crisp and delicate and loaded with sparkling sunshine flavor. Just show me a fellow or girl who even hesitate until every last flake of Kellogg's Pep is gone from that bowl. You know, that's particularly important nowadays. we don't want to waste cereal. Because, you see, the cereal grains have been picked out to send to fellows and girls overseas. Remember that when Mom brings Kellogg's Pep home from the grocer's. Pour your Pep out very carefully. And make sure you eat all your Pep. Don't waste it.
First faint streaks of dawn are beginning to light the sky as Lois Lane and Horatio Horn, weary and bedraggled, stumble into the New Orleans hospital where Clark Kent still waits for the injured airplane pilots to revive and to tell him where they had transported Professor Sturgeon.
Lois, and Horatio Horn, what are you doing here? What happened to you?
Oh, we've been playing hide and seek all night, Clark. Oh, God, this chair feels good.
What do you mean you've been playing hide and seek?
Well, first Carlos and Paolo chased us, and we got away, and then we chased them, and they got away.
Carlos? Wait a minute, you mean the Carlos who helped abduct Professor Sturgeon?
That's right, but he got away.
In his car. We hunted for hours, but it was no so.
Where was this? How did you run into him? Tell me and I'll...
It's no use, Clark. He got away.
Maybe I can find
him.
him.
Well, we couldn't. A lot of raccoon hunters couldn't, and the police couldn't, so you skip it. Now, just tell us what's happening at this end.
Yes, what about those pilots? We stopped at a restaurant and bought a paper and read about Superman rescuing them and bringing them here.
And knowing that you were in New Orleans, having run out on me in Metropolis...
Oh, look, I'm sorry about that, Lois, but it was...
Forget it. I'm just too tired to be angry right now. Just tell us what's going on here.
So far, nothing. McMillan, one of the pilots, is in very bad shape.
Oh,
the other one, Ramsey, is off the critical list, but he had a bad bang on the head, and the doctor says it might be some time before he's in any condition to answer questions.
Uh-oh. Then where are we?
Still no place, by Gulliver. By the time this pilot is able to talk, it may be too late. Carlos's people might already have forced Professor Sturgeon to tell them all the secrets of the atom bomb.
That's what I'm worried about. If only we knew who they were. Look, you two were with Carlos twice now. Haven't you any idea who he or his people are?
At first, I thought he was a Spaniard.
He isn't. He isn't, and while he talks and looks like a Latin, he's different from any I've ever seen. And, boy, I've interviewed plenty of them.
Well, try to remember. There must be something about him. His speech or his clothes or something distinctive that can give us a clue.
I can't think of anything. Can you, Mr. Horn?
No, I can't, Miss Lane. Wait, there was something.
There was?
What do you mean?
Yes, indeed, by Gulliver, there was something I noticed, and it might tell us where Professor Sturgeon is right now.
Fairly dancing with excitement, the little amateur detective sputters incoherently as he tries to get his words out to the eager Clark Kent and Lois Lane. What is the clue he discovered? Will it lead Clark Kent, who, as we know, is Superman, to Bolomar, where even now Professor Sturgeon is in the hands of the conspirators who wish to upset world peace? Tomorrow's episode is packed with excitement and suspense, fellows and girls, so don't miss it. Tune in, same time, same station. And remember, for breakfast, it's Kellogg's Pep. For excitement, the adventures of Superman.
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC comic magazines and is brought to you Monday through Friday at the same time by Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine Cereal. You know, gang, famous names are often family names, like the Kellogg family of cereals. And here's a famous member that makes breakfast mighty swell. It's Kellogg's Shredded Wheat. Full ripe whole wheat made into tender plump biscuits that fit your bowl. Toasted just right, too, for crispness and natural nut-sweet flavor. As for nutrition, well, Kellogg's Shredded Wheat is made of finest whole wheat. Mom likes that. And the economy of 15 biscuits in every package. Remind Mom to get Kellogg's Shredded Wheat. And be sure to be with us tomorrow for the thrilling adventures of Superman. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Tired of the everyday grind? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all? We offer you Escape.
Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
You are running over the fog-locked cliffs of Dover. By your side, a girl who believes you're a madman. and pursuing you, bent on destroying you. A man whose terrible secret you've stumbled upon, and from whom there is no escape.
Listen now as Escape brings you Walter Brown Newman's story, 2 and 2 Make 4.
My head hurt. I sat up and opened my eyes. Fog all around, thick and close and still. I could see trees and a few yards of dirt road. My watch was gone and my wallet. Rolled, slugged and rolled and dumped. But where? I scrambled to my feet and I stood there in the ditch, suddenly worried about the time. It would be bad to be late going aboard. As for the ship sailing without me, I stepped onto the road. Which way led back to Calais? Someone was coming. Hello? Qui est là? Why don't you answer? I can't see. Oh! Down the road, then across the field, alongside a brook. I ran till I thought my lungs would burst. I stopped to listen, but the blood was pounding so I couldn't be sure I wasn't followed. I ran some more. The brook went under a small bridge. On it, leaning against the stone wall, looking down at me, was a girl with a knapsack on her back. I climbed up the bank. Mademoiselle, s'il vous plaît, mademoiselle...
I'm sorry, I don't speak French.
Did you hear those shots?
Shots?
A few minutes ago, right past my ear, almost blew my head off.
Well, you should tell the police or something. I have to be going. I have a long way to go.
No, wait a minute.
Sorry, I really...
No, wait. What time is it, please?
Well, not quite 7:15. The way it looks now, we'll have fog at least until noon.
Noon? You mean it's 7:15 in the morning?
Yes, of course in the morning. Well, I've got...
Hold on. Which way is Calais?
Calais? Well, that way, about 20 miles.
20? I've got to make my ship. You mind if I walk along with you?
Well...
My name's David Parker.
Mine's Haydock, Emily Haydock.
I'm in the Merchant Marine, second mate on a freighter. You want a walking trip or something?
That's right.
I figured. It was the knapsack. American?
Yes.
Me too. I thought you were French at first.
Why was that?
Took it for granted. Most people in France are.
Well, I don't understand. We're in England, not France. Why should you think that you...
What do you mean, England? Didn't you just tell me we were 20 miles from Calais?
Yes, but Calais is somewhere out there across the English Channel in France.
And where do you say we are, you and me now?
In England, of course, about 2 miles from Dover.
Now, look. I've been robbed and dumped out here in the countryside and shot at, so please don't make jokes.
I'm not.
What's today, quick?
Thursday, 10th of July. Why?
Then we're in France.
Look, I tell you...
When I registered at the hotel in Calais last night, I noticed the date. It was the 9th of July.
Now, look. You asked me where we are, and I told you. England, near Dover.
I suppose I didn't see the sunrise in Calais just an hour ago.
Sunrise?
Sunrise.
What sunrise? I've been up since 5. There's been no sun for a week. It's one of the worst fogs they've ever had.
Oh, drop it. I tell you, I saw it.
You're either joking or lying or
wait
crazy.
a minute. No more of that lying, that crazy, do you hear? No more of that crazy.
Well, what else am I to think when you say you were shot at? You saw the sun? Sun today. And you insist you're in France when you're in England.
All right, Miss Haydock. Turn around. Now, what do you see alongside the road?
Gate. Stone wall.
Yeah, and in front of the gate.
A mailbox. Why?
And what does it say on the mailbox? Villa Mon Bijou. I don't know what Bijou means, but it's French. What do you say now?
We're in England.
You don't know where to stop, do you? All right. I'm going into this villa, whatever it is, and phone for a taxi to take me to my ship. I was going to offer you a lift, but now I'd sooner cut my tongue out. How do you like that?
Oh, go to the devil. You're in England!
Bonjour. Parlez anglais? D'anglais compris? Say, is there anyone here who speaks English?
I speak English.
Oh, good. May I use your phone to call a taxi?
Of course. Won't you come in?
Thanks. I have no money on me, Mr.
Putney, Dr. Putney.
I haven't a penny with me, Doctor, but I'll be able to get some from the clerk at the hotel, and I'll send you whatever the call costs with the taxi driver.
Oh, not at all. There's the phone.
Thanks. Hello? Oh, come on.
Service is always a bit slow at this hour.
I'm sorry. The fact is, I got angry with a silly girl out on the road.
Did you?
Yeah, you tried to kid me. Well, the joke will be on her when she's trudging along the road and sees me riding in my ease to Calais. Oh, come on.
Riding to Calais?
In a taxi. I wouldn't have minded if she'd let the joke drop, but no, she went on and on about this being England and that I was crazy to think otherwise.
Well, I'm afraid I don't understand the joke. I mean, this is England.
Look, I don't find it funny, Doctor. I thought I made that clear. The next one who tells me I'm in England when I know I'm in France, I swear I'll take...
You know you're in France?
Yes. Yes.
Sit down, young man.
Isn't this France?
England. Near Dover. How can I show you? Here's a copy of the London Times, yesterday's.
Wednesday, July 9th. But the name on the mailbox, Villa Watts, that's French.
Most of the villas have names like that. Montbijou, Sanssouci. Still, it's England. Sit down. I'm a physician, and I'd like to ask you...
Oh, no.
Young man!
Two and two make four. I repeated it like a charm, like they told me in the hospital. When you feel unsure of yourself, remember 2 and 2 make 4. There's an explanation for everything. Don't doubt yourself. After a while, I stopped trembling. I opened the gate and went out onto the road. And there was the girl.
Oh, everything all right?
Did you come back to say I told you so?
No, I thought you might need help. I thought that...
Watch out, there's a truck coming.
There's an inn just around the curve.
Get down! He might shoot you again. Get down.
Mr. Parker, please, that was a backfire. That's all it was.
Backfire?
Of course. What else could it be? There's an inn just around the curve, and I have money. Wouldn't you like to have breakfast there and talk?
Oh, I'm all confused.
Anyone would be after a blow on the head.
No, it's not just being slugged. I wish it were only that, but with a case like me that...
You're not a case.
Oh, that's just it, I am. About 6 weeks ago, unloading cargo, a crate hit me on the head, scrambled my memory. They sent me to the hospital, and the ship sailed without me. She's due back in Calais this afternoon. I was to report aboard if the treatment proved successful. They told me it was successful and discharged me yesterday, or... Maybe it wasn't yesterday, and none of it happened, and I'm imagining it all.
Try not to worry. It'll all come back to you.
Yeah, but suppose what comes back never really happened. That's the point, you see. That's the point. I remember a lot about yesterday, but what if I only think I remember, and it's all in my...
Now relax. We'll have breakfast in here. If you remember, you remember.
Yeah, but do I? I recall leaving the hospital and going to a hotel. Then I went to an all-night restaurant, and I remember leaving a bar at daybreak. Oh, sit down, Miss Haydock, please. I remember all that clearly. But an hour later, I'm in England, and that's impossible.
Well, you might have wandered aboard a channel steamer.
Now, use your head. It's a 2 or 3 hour trip by boat.
Well, an airplane, then.
Oh, excuse me, I thought perhaps you'd like your coffee now while waiting for breakfast.
Miss, is there an airfield nearby?
Oh, yes, sir, but it's not an object of interest for tourists today. Our churches is very nice, though.
How far away is it, at the airfield?
Oh, you won't see no planes coming or going, sir. The BBC broadcast said no air traffic in or out of Dover for the 6th straight day. Oh, good morning, Mr. Smith-Travers.
Breakfast, Rosie?
Yes, sir. Anything else for the present, sir?
No.
No air traffic, 6 days in a row. You'd think that would teach them, but will it?
I beg your pardon?
I leave it to you. Is there any reason for maintaining this undependable method of transportation? A method absolutely at the mercy of the elements, when there's a cheaper, better, less bothersome, simpler, and always certain way of crossing the channel.
You mean the boats?
No, of course not. The tunnel, the channel.
Tunnel?
Yes, of course. Rosie, I want coffee now.
Right, Mr. Smith-Travers.
The Channel Tunnel. 20 miles through solid, impermeable chalk. In at Dover, out at Calais. Less than an hour's drive. No fuss.
I never heard of it. Is it something recent?
Recent? Oh, you're strangers here. Tourists, eh?
Yeah.
Well, you've heard of Napoleon Bonaparte?
Oh,
yeah. He had it dug. By the 6th Corps of the Engineers of the Imperial Army. Took them 3 years. All done in secret, of course, for a surprise attack on England.
You mean to say there's actually a tunnel beneath the English Channel in use?
Certainly it's in use. I've been through it scores of times. Business, you know. Import-export. Just drove back from Calais a few hours ago. Morning, Doctor.
Good morning, Smith-Travers.
Just advising them to go by way of the tunnel if they want to get to Calais.
Yes, of course. Much the best way.
Did it in 23 minutes this morning. New carburetor, you know. Well, good morning to you, sir. Yes.
I must have seemed like a lunatic, Doctor, not knowing I was in England. You see, I was in Calais, and an hour later I was in England, and I didn't understand how that was possible. I didn't know about the tunnel beneath the channel.
Try not to excite yourself, my boy. Everything will soon be all right.
What?
I've brought someone with me. Constable.
This poor fellow?
Poor fellow? You mean... Oh, you do think But I told you... I didn't know about the tunnel. I must have gone through the tunnel.
He didn't know until Mr. Smith-Travers told him.
Yes, I heard. But Mr. Smith-Travers is also of the firm conviction that we British are descended from the 10 lost tribes of Israel, that Shakespeare never existed, and that after a bit more research we'll be able to transmute base metals into gold. We know him and like him, and humor his eccentricities. Come along, Mr. Parker. I think it in the public interest that you not be on the public streets.
Yeah, come along.
No, listen. I was in Calais at sunrise. I can prove it. I just remembered the name of the hotel. The Hotel de la Mar. Phone them and they'll tell you that there's a David Parker registered there. They have my passport at the desk. Let me go.
You're hurrying him, you big bully.
I was in Calais. I was. 2 and 2 make 4. 2 and 2 make 4. 2 and 2 make 4.
You are listening to 2 and 2 Make 4, tonight's presentation of Escape. Keep listening for the climax in tonight's exciting story on Escape. And listen tomorrow for CBS Radio's exciting World Music Festivals concert. 3 excerpts from Alban Berg's tragic opera, Wojciech, will highlight the program. That's tomorrow, daytime, on most of these stations. And now back to Escape, and the second act of 2 and 2 Make 4.
They took us to a room in the town hall. Dr. Putney, it turned out, was not only a physician, he was the local magistrate as well. For more than 3 hours, he questioned Miss Haydock and me in turn. He made us repeat our stories endlessly, where she met me, how I behaved, what I said, what she said, and all the rest of it. It was almost noon before he was finished. And watching the clock on the wall, my ship coming nearer to Calais with every tick, I was almost beside myself with anxiety.
You need care, my boy. Rest and help. Now, we've a fine institution in Folkestone near here which can give you that care. Few weeks, possibly days.
Institution?
Look, I have got to get to Calais.
Miss Haydock, will you try to convince him it's for the best?
There's nothing wrong with me.
I'll try once more to show you reality, Mr. Parker. You say you were in France at sunrise.
I do. I was.
And you insist you were in England an hour later.
Look, please, call the Hotel de la Mer in Calais. I checked in there. There's bound to be a record of it. That will prove I'm telling the truth.
And if the call is made and it doesn't prove you're telling the truth, will you take my advice about the institution?
Yes.
Constable, put through a call to the Hotel de la Mer in Calais.
Yeah, very good, sir. If the hotel bears out Mr. Parker's story, you'll let him go?
Miss Haydock, if it turns out that Mr. Parker is right, but how could he be?
2 and 2 make 4. 2 and 2 make 4.
Oh, what's that?
Yeah, I have the hotel, sir.
Use the constable's phone, Mr. Parker. I'll listen in on my extension.
Hello, desk clerk.
Hello.
Hello. Is there a Mr. Parker registered there? David Parker?
Parker? David Parker. Oh, oui, there was, but he has checked out since 2 hours ago.
But, I mean, he couldn't have. You're mistaken.
Oh, no, sir, I am not. Not if you mean that Monsieur Parker is an American seaman. I returned his passport personally when I paid his bill. I have the...
I'm not even who I thought I was. All right, Dr. Putney, I'll go with you.
No, wait. Before you do, let me speak to you in private. Please.
May we, Doctor? Would it be all right?
I'll give you 2 minutes. Constable, we can arrange for an ambulance to Folkestone.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Parker.
No, that's not my name.
2 and 2 make 4.
Yeah.
2 and 2 make 4.
Uh-huh.
You must have faith in yourself. If you're convinced you were in France one moment and in England an hour later, then that's the way it was.
But it's a physical impossibility.
No, it's not. You could have come through the tunnel.
There is no tunnel.
If a tunnel is the only explanation for what happened to you, then there is a tunnel. 2 and 2 make 4.
Yeah. You really believe my story?
I believe you.
All right, then. All right. What do I do now?
You tell me. Come on, you know the answer.
I find the man in the restaurant, the man who said there was a tunnel, Smith Travers.
Right. Open the window.
All right. I'll go first and I'll help you down. Come on.
Here's my knapsack.
Got it. Now you.
Time's up, I'm afraid. Miss Haydock, come back here. Miss Haydock! Mr. X, whatever your name is. Constable, stop them!
I'll do my best, sir.
The fog hit us before we'd run 20 feet. We dodged around corners, then stopped at a garage and looked up Mr. Smith Travers' address in a directory. It proved to be a little villa like a dozen others I'd seen that day. There was no answer when we knocked at the door, so we waited. And before very long, Mr. Smith Travers drove up in a light truck.
Look. The valise I left at the hotel in Calais. He's got it.
Good afternoon. I'll take that.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, my passport, too, please.
Yes. I see you've concluded the tunnel does exist.
That's right.
Last, you're the first to ever have. It's a bit of bad luck, for me, that is. If I hadn't hit a flat tire halfway through, the passport and valise would be in ashes by now. You, phoned the hotel in Calais?
Yes.
Yes, I thought you might. I heard you shouting at the inn about the hotel, so I drove over and... Didn't it make you doubt your senses when they told you checked out?
Oh, you have no idea.
Yes, I was counting on that.
Yeah, it rocked me, but only for a minute.
How the devil did you get in my machine in the first place?
Well, the way I figure, I was knocked on the head by some thug and robbed this morning in Calais. Whoever did it may have thrown me in your truck to get me out of sight.
I was never so surprised in my life. I mean to say, I skidded near Dover, sideswiped a tree, and heard the back door bang open. When I stopped and went back, there you were, lying with a bolt of my silk in your arms. Took my breath away. When you started to groan and sit up, I was beside myself.
What's the matter?
It just occurred to me, you're not English. A bad thing to have someone not in the government and a foreigner to boot to know about the tunnel. There's security, you know.
Do you mean the British government knows of the tunnel?
No, it doesn't. No, I've sent letters to every Prime Minister since MacDonald, telling them about it. Charts, diagrams, descriptions. Useless. They think I'm a crank. I can't blame them. What would Mr. Eisenhower say if you told him there's a tunnel between London and New York? You see what I mean? They got acknowledgement just once. A CID man came around and blabbed the whole story to everyone. Told them to keep an eye on me as a dangerous lunatic. The only way to protect the secret after that was to ride it like a mania, so I told everyone too. Best security measure ever devised. Now, however, there are 3 of us who really know about the tunnel. It's awkward. I don't know what to do.
Oh, I can tell you exactly. You're going to take me back to Calais and now, otherwise I'll beat you to a pulp. I ought to anyway, making me doubt myself as you did.
Taking you into the tunnel. Yes, that might be the best way.
We'd never tell anyone, I swear it.
Yes. I don't want you to see the entrance and exit, though. You will have to wear blindfolds.
Agreed.
Now, let's get going, then. Yes, taking you into the tunnel is the best way.
Say, how much longer before we're in the tunnel?
You can take off the blindfolds now. We're in it.
Oh, wonderful.
The tunnel? Yes, they did a fine job, the 6th Corps. That's what they got for it. Boney flung them in the Russian campaign when they'd finished and saw to it they all died. That's a way of keeping a secret, eh?
How did you learn of it?
Reading in the British Museum. I was broke and unemployed. I found an old diary by one of the engineers. Investigated and found it was true. I wrote to the government, told them about that. Well, it was too good to let it waste, so I set up a small import-export business. Cheaper transportation gives me an edge on my competitors.
Are we in Calais?
Well, no, but it's as far as you go. I've got to kill you. I can't let you live. It's too dangerous now that you know. The shotgun failed me twice today. Perhaps the revolver. Get out of the truck, please. Unless you want your blood all over the young lady, please.
Oh, all right.
Now, perhaps... Well, I won't think you cowardly if you turn your back.
Listen...
Oh, come now, no temporizing. Just take it. Oh, dash it all.
Emily?
I think I'm going to faint.
Help me get him back into the truck, huh?
Just let me sit here for a moment.
Yeah.
David?
Huh?
We'll tell the authorities the truth. About the tunnel and all.
Uh-huh.
Everyone ought to know.
Yes.
It's too good a thing. It makes travel and trade and communication so simple. We've no right to keep it a secret.
Check. We'll tell the authorities. We came to the end of the tunnel at exactly 2 o'clock by Miss Haydock's watch. Time and to spare in order to board my ship. We left Mr. Smith Travers in the truck and made our way into what was apparently a small warehouse. And from there, through a door, we found ourselves on the corner of a street, much like any other street in Calais. A fog had rolled in since sunrise as thick as the one we'd left in England. Oh, one moment. I want to make a note of this street or we'll never find the tunnel again. Hey, you got a pencil?
Mm-mm.
Oh, never mind. I have one.
There's no street sign.
Oh, up there on the side of the building. They don't put them on lampposts like we do in the States. All right, I've got it. Say, when do you get back to the States?
September 1st. School term starts on the 10th. I teach kindergarten in Baltimore.
Oh, we're supposed to put in at Baltimore Christmas week.
Well, that's marvelous. We could have Christmas Eve together.
Yeah, New Year's too, maybe. Oh, I'll look forward to that.
You'll write. Meanwhile, won't you?
Oh, of course. You know, I'll never be able to thank you enough for what you did. What made you believe in me so strongly?
Oh, I don't know. You see, What's the matter?
I'm not sure. We're walking toward the harbor. That's the trouble with a foreign city. You turn a corner and you're lost. This
dirty fog is so... Well, let's try this way.
Would that be a policeman in the doorway?
Where? Oh, yes, it is. Parlez anglais.
A little.
Which way is the harbor?
Turn at the next corner, to the left, and walk 4 streets.
Well, thank you. Oh, how do you pronounce the name of the street I've written here?
Street?
Yeah.
There's no street.
A street? What does it say?
In English, this way to the air raid shelter. We have put them on almost every building in Calais.
Air raid shelter? Then we'll never be able to find our way back to the tunnel.
Gendarme, are you sure?
But of course. As sure as I am that 2 and 2 make 4.
Escape, produced and directed by David Friedkin and Morton Fine, has brought you 2 and 2 Make 4, a story by Walter Newman. Featured in the cast were Shep Menken, Joyce McCluskey, Tudor Owen, and Richard Peel. Also heard were Betty Hartford, Dick Ryan, Melitza Milo, and James Barrett. Your announcer, Bill Anders. The special music for Escape is composed and conducted by Leith Stevens. Next week.
You're on a ketch sailing the coral seas, snaking your way through the tricky channel toward an island of black pearls. While on the shore, waiting for you to land, is the man who has sworn your death, and from whom there is no escape.
So listen next week when Escape brings you Robert Tallman's story, The King of Oanatu. Stay tuned now for Night Watch, which follows immediately over most of these stations. America listens most to the CBS Radio Network.
Rice Chex and Wheat Chex, the bite-sized cereals in the red and white checkerboard packages, present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed Space Patrol adventure, Buzz and Happy, exploring a wooded section of Mars, have just seen 2 men in strange, primitive masks holding a girl as captive. As the 2 Space Patrollers move to rescue her, Happy falls into a pit covered with branches and leaves.
You give me a hand, I'll pull you out.
Yes. I can't quite reach it.
I'll lie down on the edge of the pit. There.
Yeah, that's fine, sir. Now I can... Commander, look out.
What's the matter?
Look behind you. There's a man in a mask, and he's got a spear at your back.
We'll return in just a moment with today's exciting Space Patrol adventure, The Mystery of the Masked Martian. You hear those drums, Space Patrollers? They're coming from an ancient city on Mars, and they're sending you a special message from Commander Corey about the brand new, super scary, super spooky-looking surprise Commander Corey has for you. A man from Mars totem head with magic forehead vision Now, in just a few moments, you'll find out how you can get one. And wait till you see it, gang. Wow! This weird totem head is more than 12 inches high, fits over your head, rests on your shoulders, makes a complete disguise because that magic forehead vision plate lets you see out, but nobody else can see in. It's got a sinister-looking face in the front, a spooky-looking face in the back, ears that flop, a swell beak-like nose, and fang-like teeth. Put on your totem head, and your pals won't know whether you're coming or going. They won't know who you are either, because with a magic forehead vision, you can see them, but they cannot see you. It's like having an extra pair of X-ray eyes. Now, gang, here's all you do to get your very own Man from Mars totem head. Just send our rice checks or wheat checks, box top, together with your name and address, and 25 cents in coin to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. Don't forget your 25 cents. That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. And now today's Space Patrol adventure, The Mystery of the Masked Martians. At regular intervals, giant towers rise up from the Martian desert, ready to relay power along the equator to a city far beyond the horizon. Around an uncompleted tower is a cluster of temporary buildings and stacks of supplies. In the office of Ed Hicks, superintendent of construction, Buzz and Happy look on as Hicks points to a map in this section of Mars.
We got all these towers up without a bit of trouble, Buzz. But from the minute we set up camp at this site, things have happened.
What kind of things?
Well, I suppose you could sum it up as sabotage. Supplies disappeared, food mostly. Mess hall burned down 3 nights ago. We've had accidents.
Accidents? Anyone hurt?
No, not seriously, but it slowed down our work considerably. Men have reached a point where they don't trust each other.
Uh-oh. On a job like this, that's bad.
You're right for that.
Still, there's nothing tangible to go on outside of these accidents. And they might be due to the men's nervousness.
Nothing tangible. Except that one of my men is missing.
Oh?
One of the foremen, Turk Fowler, new man who wasn't well liked.
Could your men have ganged up on him?
In the present state of mind, possibly. One of our scout tanks is missing, too.
Then this man Fowler may have run off.
Yeah. But anyone with any sense would have headed west toward the nearest settlement. Tracks leading from the camp indicate the scout tank headed east.
East? There's nothing in that direction for hundreds of miles, except for a wooded section about 30 miles away. As far as you know, then, there have been no strangers lurking around the camp.
No strangers at all, except for the girl.
What girl?
I don't know her name. She drove into camp yesterday in a surface car. Wanted to buy some food. Seems she ran short of supplies.
What was the girl doing out here?
I don't know. I didn't see her myself. From what my assistant said, she was doing some exploring over to the east.
Could there be any connection between this girl and the mysterious events in the camp, or the disappearance of Fowler?
I don't see how. Frankly, I can't see a sensible explanation for anything. Fowler may have left because he was afraid of the men or afraid of what's going on here. Still, he seems to have headed in the direction the girl did, toward the east.
Well, if the men won't talk to you, I doubt that I could get anything out of them. Right now, at least. But I'm worried about Fowler.
If there'd been an atmosphere ship at the camp, I would send somebody to look for him.
Fowler doesn't want to be found. A search by air would give him a chance to hide. But another scout tank could follow his tracks across the wasteland. Have you got one available?
Yeah, sure. I'll have one fueled up right away.
Fine. Happy and I will try to find them.
Mile after mile, Buzz and Happy follow the tracks of the stolen scout tank across the Martian desert. Then, across the almost level wasteland, they see a range of low hills covered with what on Mars is thick vegetation. As the spinning treads of their scout tank bring them closer to the hills, Happy turns to Buzz.
Commander, this is all beginning to look familiar. Sure, Happy. We were here a few weeks ago to rescue that girl scientist. Oh, yeah. And that knoll up there, that's where the spaceship crashed 900 years ago. The wreck that was supposed to have a treasure aboard.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Commander, look up ahead. There's a vehicle of some kind.
That's not a scout tank.
It's an ordinary circus car. It looks like it's stalled in the sand.
Must be equipped with special treads or couldn't maneuver on this terrain.
Well, didn't Ed Hicks say the girl who came into camp was driving a surface car?
Yes. We'll stop and have a look.
There's no one in the car, sir.
No one's in sight.
The tracks of that scout tank continue right past the car.
On toward those wooded hills. Look at these footprints. They lead from the surface car to the tank.
Well, then the girl got out of this car and into the tank. And she must have gone willingly. There's no sign of a struggle.
take a look in the car. Let's see who this car's registered to. Uh-oh.
What is it, sir?
Look what's lying in the back seat.
A mask. Why, it's the same kind of mask we found weeks ago near the wrecked ship and gave to... what was that girl scientist's name?
Lauren. Sana Lauren. It's the same mask.
Well, now we know who the girl was that visited the conscription camp.
This car's registered to a vehicle renting company in Lowell City.
And Miss Loring must have driven all the way from Lowell City, hundreds of miles across the desert all by herself.
Apparently she's not her own now.
Do you think she's in any danger from Fowler?
Perhaps not. I'd like to know why he stole a scout tank and headed in this direction. Come on, Hank. Let's get back in the tank and follow these tracks.
There's the tank, sir, right at the edge of the woods.
And over at the left is the wrecked spaceship.
The black star. I don't see anybody up on the knoll. Maybe they're poking around inside the wreck.
That's where they were going. They wouldn't have parked the tank clear over here. Probably exploring the woods, Hank. Since Fowler may not be too delighted to see us under ray gun.
Cautiously, Buzz and Happy work their way deep into the woods, following a trail marked by broken twigs and an occasional footprint.
They seem to have a definite idea of where they're going.
Yes, sir. But who's doing the leading? Miss Loring or Fowler?
The girl, probably. Fowler may be holding a gun on her.
Well, when we last saw her a few weeks ago, she was convinced that the people that crashed on the ship were space pirates and had hidden stolen jewels somewhere in this area.
Oh, the jewels, but everything else. The wreck was completely stripped.
Well, the last survivor of that wreck must have passed away 8 centuries ago. Hey, maybe he left a map, and Miss Loring found it.
Mm-hmm. There was one mystery about that wreck that Miss Loring couldn't explain. When the pilots crashed, they spaced a phone for help. According to the ancient records, there were 20 men and women aboard the Black Star. 18 survived the crash.
Yes, sir. And help never arrived. Those graves up on the hill near the wreck prove that.
And that's the mystery. Remember, there are 20 graves. Who buried the last survivor?
Hey, that is a mystery.
Of course, the simplest explanation is the records are wrong, that there were 21 people aboard.
And Miss Loring may have all the facts now, Commander. It'll make quite a story. Those pirates landing with a ship full of stolen museum relics from Earth.
Yes, and the choice they had to make between living out their lives here on Mars or calling for rescue and going back to Earth as criminals.
And there could have been a battle between those who wanted to stay and those who wanted to go.
I heard something up ahead.
There's a movement in that bush.
Maybe it was the wind of the sound.
Smoking rockets. What was that?
I can expect that too right behind us.
Commander, it's an arrow.
Listen. Whoever shot it is running away.
Well, why would Fowler be using a primitive weapon like a bow and arrow?
It's a girl.
Diana Loring. She's in trouble.
Come on, Hap. Coming to a clearing.
Commander, look. Am I losing my mind?
Masks. They're holding fire.
Masks just like the one we found. The big teeth, the bulging eyes, and the feathers.
That's how they're dressed. And skins like criminals.
They're carrying bows and arrows.
It's a heavy sense. They're wrestling. It's not to shoot me.
What about Miss Loring?
Just take her unconscious. I can't go back to the camp. Important for me to get her away from those men. Just what I thought we did.
Yes, sir. Hey!
Happy. Happy, you hurt?
No, sir. I didn't see this hole. It was covered up with branches and leaves.
Well, give me a hand. I'll pull you out.
Yes, sir. I can't quite reach it.
I'll lie down on the edge of the pit. There.
That's fine, sir. Now I can... Commander, look out.
What's the matter?
Look behind you. There's a man in a mask. He's got a spear at your back.
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment.
Weird. Fantastic. A man from Mars, totem head. Magic forehead vision.
And you can have one, Space Patrollers. In a second, you'll find out how. And when you put on your own totem head, you'll look just like a real space spook. Even your best pal won't know you. It's more than 12 inches high, and from head to shoulders, your identity is a complete secret. That magic forehead vision lets you see out, but your friends can't see in, or tell who's wearing the Man from Mars totem head. Think of the fun you can have fooling them. They won't know which direction you're headed either, because the totem head has a face in the front and one in the back, too. It comes in real Martian colors. red and yellow, green and black, with floppy ears, a beak-like nose, and fang-like teeth. Now remember, from Magic Forehead Vision, that's X-ray vision. You can see out, but nobody can see in. Gang, to get your Man from Mars totem head, do this. Just send a Rice Chex or Wheat Chex box top, together with your name and address and 25 cents in coin, to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. Don't forget your 25 cents. That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. This offer good only in the USA and may be withdrawn at any time. And now back to our Space Patrol adventure, The Mystery of the Masked Martians. Buzz and Happy have trailed the stolen scout tank across the Martian desert to a wooded area. In a clearing deep in the woods, they saw Fauna Loring, a girl scientist, struggling in the grasp of two strange figures wearing weird, primitive masks. As the Space Patrollers rushed to her rescue, Happy toppled into a pit covered with branches. As Buzz stretched himself prone on the ground at the edge of the pit to assist Happy, another masked figure appeared. Right now, Happy is looking up from the pit, horrified as the man in the grotesque mask holds the point of a spear against the commander's back.
Don't move, sir. It looks like he's ready to jab you.
You've got your ray gun. Give him a blast.
It flew out of my hand when I fell.
I can get mine out of my holster without making it suspicious.
Oh! Commander, did he hurt you?
That's just a warning. He evidently knew I was reaching for a weapon.
He's taking your gun.
For a savage, this one's smart. He doesn't know how to use my ray gun. He's making sure I don't use it. He wouldn't know how to reach for this pit.
Help him. Get that man out of pit.
Commander, he talks English.
You must know everything we've said.
Hurry!
All right. Take it easy. Give me a hand.
Yes, sir.
Up you go.
There.
You stay right there. Do not move, or I will use my spear.
We won't move. Who are you?
I am Borg. Captain Borg. Stay where you are. I will stick your weapons into the pit.
I don't get this, sir. These people wear those masks and use bow and arrows and spears, and yet they can speak English. And this one calls himself Captain.
Could have finished us both with that spear, but he didn't. I could rush in now, sir. It wouldn't help Fauna Loring, even if we overpowered him.
Well, there go our guns into the pit.
Go. That way. Across the clearing.
All right, Borg. Captain Borg, but where are you taking us?
To the village of my people.
You shot an arrow at us a while ago. Your men are holding a girl. She's a friend of ours. Now you're threatening us with your spear. Why? We haven't harmed you.
That is a lie. The other man drew his weapon. It made big sound, and two of my men fell to the ground.
The other man? That must be Fowler.
Borg, listen. Those men that fell, there were no wounds on them, were there?
No, but they do not move.
They're merely asleep. They'll wake up and be all right again. Let us take the girl and the other man, and we'll go away.
No. You are not of the Great Ones. You do not wear masks. Therefore, you are evil.
Great Ones? Who are the Great Ones?
We will not talk here. Go. I will follow you with my spear at your backs.
You better humor him, Happy. I think Captain Borg will listen to reason eventually.
With the masked Martian walking behind them with raised spear, Buzz and Happy make their way through the woods. At last, they come to a clearing containing a few rude huts. In the face of a cliff are the openings of several caves. As Buzz and Happy are marched through the tiny village, they're aware of faces peering at them through the doorways of the huts. Captain Borg pods them toward a cave guarded by a huge man, also wearing one of the strange masks and holding a spear. The guard stands as though he were made of stone, except for a stiff salute to Borg with his long spear.
Get in the cave. I will come for you when my crew has decided your fate. Do not attempt to escape.
All right, Captain Borg, but there are a couple of facts you ought to know.
Get in the cave.
Okay. Come on, Happy.
Yes, sir. Hey, the girl's in the cave.
Commander.
You all right, Miss Loring?
As well as can be expected.
What about Fowler? Is he here, too?
He's asleep in the back of the cave. He was hit by an arrow after he used his ray gun and Borg's men.
You hurt that?
It's just a flesh wound in the shoulder, but we should get him to a doctor before it becomes infected.
From Borg's attitude, that isn't going to be easy.
Hey, Miss Loring, who are these people? Do you know?
Yes, but the truth is so fantastic you won't believe it.
They're descendants of the people who cracked up in the Black Star. Isn't that right?
Yes, Commander. the most amazing example of survival I've ever heard of.
The ship crashed here 870 years ago. That means this is about the 25th generation.
Yeah, but those graves on the hill, they're exactly 20. Why aren't there more?
That hill's regarded as sacred ground. It's reserved for the great ones.
The great ones? Oh, that's the phrase Borg used.
Yes, these people believe that their remote ancestors were superior beings who came out of the sky.
They came out of the sky, all right, but they sure weren't superior. They were pirates.
Remember, Happy, in 800 years, facts can become distorted into legends.
Yes, but didn't they have any books on the ship?
In the struggle for survival, reading probably became a lost art in 2 or 3 generations.
That's to take over their efforts to obtain food. Reading wasn't a practical skill.
But those crazy masks, they weren't practical either.
No, but they symbolized the greatness. Those masks are copies of those that were aboard the spaceship. Relics of primitive tribes that lived out there thousands of years ago.
Yet they're not quite like the Earth masks, Miss Mary.
Oh, no. After all, these people are intelligent and creative. Each generation probably added its own ideas and designs.
Yeah, but you'd think they'd know that people who fly in spaceships don't wear primitive masks.
The first 3 generations probably realized it, but for hundreds of years, everything these people know has been passed on by word of mouth for 30 generations.
Yeah, I noticed that Borg calls himself captain and refers to his people as his crew.
Yes, those terms are carryovers from the original survivors of the spaceship crash. Each new leader of this colony becomes a captain of the crew.
Sounds funny at first, but I guess it makes sense.
How many people are there in this group now, Miss Ryan?
Not more than 60.
Oh, that's quite a mob. When they've got bows and arrows and we haven't got any weapons at all.
It's ironic, isn't it? Those primitive weapons, those museum relics, hadn't been aboard that spaceship, these people couldn't have survived.
That's right. Chances are the ammunition for the modern weapons is exhausted in a few years.
Well, I wish the spears and bows and arrows were exhausted. How are we going to get out of this fix?
The chief weapon now is to know how these people think and what they feel.
Exactly. Now, if we can convince him...
It's Borg. Well, Captain Borg, what's the verdict?
Verdict? I do not understand. But no matter. I have met with my crew. We have agreed that you will not leave our woods alive.
Then keep us here.
It is nearly night. Deimos, the large moon, is already climbing across the sky. When he is overtaken by his swift little brother Phobos, I will come for him. The best marksmen of my crew will aim their arrows so that you will not suffer.
Oh, that's great. Thanks a million.
The great ones will be avenged. Until I return, goodbye.
Well, I've been in some tough spots, but this is a nightmare. He calls the moons of Mars by their right names, and yet he's going to finish us off with bows and arrows, like some primitive savage.
What are we going to do?
Another half hour it'll be dark. It gives us about an hour before Phobos passes the other moon. How's that shoulder, Father?
It's pretty sore.
Otherwise, I feel okay. All right, now listen. The worst I know about you right now is that you stole a scout tank from the construction camp.
I can explain that. I had to get away. The men were blaming me for that sabotage. But I didn't have a...
Never mind that. You're going to get out of here. We've got to act now. For that bad shoulder, you aren't going to be much help in a fight, so Happy and I'll jump the guard outside the cave. You two be ready to run when Happy and I tackle you.
Don't worry.
He's standing out there, holding his spear.
Let's go.
You never knew what hit him.
Come on. Paula, let's get out of here.
Look, that bonfire's burning.
What a weird sight. The whole village is out, and all I know is now.
Pack of bloodthirsty savages. Wait.
Stand still a minute. The bonfires and the light from those two moons, we're going to have a tough time getting away from here without being seen.
Commander, look. A couple of them are coming this way.
Things.
I don't think so, not yet. Let's run for it. No, Fowler, we wouldn't stand a chance. Up ahead of the yard, there's another cave. We'll duck in there until it's clear. Come on. We made it.
We aren't any better off now than we were before.
Yeah? We haven't got a guard standing with us. And Borg's crew doesn't know we've escaped yet.
Just let the commander handle it.
Fowler, turn off that light.
Now, take it easy, Commander. My back's to the cave opening. It won't show from outside.
One flash of that atomo light and we'd have the whole village in here on our necks.
Hey, look back there in the cave. Looks like a museum.
Fowler, shield that light with your hand. Happy you and Connor stand close behind Fowler to block any stray beams.
Yes, sir. Wow, look at all this stuff. Masks, bows and arrows, spacesuits, and tools.
And drums. Primitive drums. This one is African. And this is the southeastern Asia. Borneo, perhaps.
Never mind the drums. Look at that. Wow. A whole chest full of gems. Diamonds, rubies, emeralds. This one is worth at least 1 million credits.
Commander, this cave is a sort of a shrine to these people. Here are the relics from their ancestor ship, preserved for centuries.
Interesting, isn't it? Space suits of the 22nd century next to prehistoric weapons. It's all the same to these people.
Follow, leave those jewels alone. Now, let's take what we can. What good are they to these savages? Put them back. We aren't going to steal the treasures. Commander, are you nuts? This was pirate loot to begin with. Did their ancestors steal it?
We haven't got time to argue about ethics and honesty. You want to walk out of this cave, or do I carry you?
Well, okay. We could all be rich.
I'm more interested in getting away from here alive.
Commander, can I see if it's all clear outside the cave?
Now, wait, Happy. These masks. If we each put on a mask, we might be able to work our way around the edge of the village without being challenged.
You are nuts. What about our clothes?
It's a chance we'll have to take. If someone gets very close, our clothing will merge with the darkness.
It's worth a try.
Sure, even if they know we've escaped, they'd never suspect us of wearing these masks.
Come on. Pick a mask and let's get out of here.
A moment later, 4 masked figures emerged from the dark cave and strolled casually along the perimeter of the village. At times, they passed within a few yards of the villagers, and the weird masks seemed to change expression in the flickering glare of the bonfire. Buzz, Happy, and their 2 companions at last reached the darkness of the woods. Only then does Buzz permit them to remove their strange disguises.
All right, we're safe now. Yeah, we can find the scout tanks.
We can use Phobos up there as a guide. Tanks are almost due west of here.
We're hearing excitement back at the village. Guess they don't know we've escaped yet.
Maybe a few minutes. Let's get as deep into the woods as we can before that mob comes after us.
Commander, what's going to happen to those people back there?
If I were you, I'd order a space patrol squadron to wipe them out with blast guns.
Fowler, what a dreadful thought.
Somehow, we've got to convince these people that we aren't enemies. It'll take time, patience, and understanding. But eventually, they can learn to live in our modern society.
With the 2 moons of Mars racing across the sky over them, Buzz and his party at last reach the edge of the woods and stand beside one of the scout tanks.
Now let's get into the tank. It's a long trip back to the construction camp.
Just a minute. You 3 are staying here. Hey, Commander, he's got a gun.
Yeah, and it's a blaster. I'm going to put your tank out of commission, Commander, and then I'm heading for Lowell City. Where did you get that weapon, Fowler? Back in the cave while you were picking out your masks. I've also got a handful of those jewels. Don't be a fool. You can't get away with this. I was going to stop him. Better think it over. This is a very stupid move. Oh, it is, huh? I've known for weeks that Miss Loring was planning this little one-girl expedition, and I knew if there was a treasure here, I'd make her lead me to it.
Commander, I never saw this man until he came out here in that scout tank.
Well, that's right. But I knew your plans, Miss Loring. I got a job with the tower construction outfit to put me near the treasure. And the sabotage. You engineered that to delay the construction on that particular tower until Miss Loring showed up. Exactly. And her visit to the camp saved me a couple of scouting trips. Now just stand back. All of you. I'll make sure you can't use this tank to follow. Give me that gun, Fowler.
Corey, I warned you.
Well, I'd have to get him to his feet.
Commander, he had that gun pointed right at you. Why, he pulled it.
He did pull the trigger.
Oh, and you took that chance?
It wasn't much of a chance. Fowler found that gun in the cave, right?
Oh, then you figured it wouldn't fire because it was so old.
No, Hap. Old weapons are often as deadly as new ones. I couldn't know about the gun, but I do know of human nature.
But, sir, what's human nature got to do with the gun not firing?
Human beings don't use spears and bows and arrows if there's a more powerful weapon available. I can be almost certain that gun had fired its last shot centuries ago. Okay, Hap, let's get Fowler into the tank. We've got a long trip ahead of us.
In just a moment, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure brought to you by Nestle's Quick for the greatest tasting chocolate milk and those famous Nestle's chocolate bars.
How do you do, Captain Two-Fells?
Hey, what in the... Who's that?
It's me, Happy. I fooled you with this man from Mars Totem Head, didn't I?
Well, you sure did, Hat. Why, you can't tell who's inside those spooky totem heads. That's Magic Forehead Vision, Space Patrollers. It lets you see out, but nobody can see in. You're completely disguised.
when you wear your totem head.
Smoking rockets, the totem head is fantastic. More than 12 inches high, all brightly colored with a scary totem face in front and another face in back, so your friends can't tell whether you're coming or going.
And remember, the Magic Vision forehead works only for you, so you can see out, but nobody can see in.
Now, here's how to get your very own totem head.
Send the lid or a tracing of the front of the label of Nestle's Quick, together with your name and address and 25 cents, to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri.
That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri.
And now, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Buzz and Happy have entered a manufacturing plant on Jupiter to capture a fugitive. Now, in a large, empty storeroom, they find their search blocked by a locked door.
He must be in the next room, sir. I heard a noise.
Let's get away from this door.
It looks pretty rugged. What happened to the lights?
Don't let you help off as much as Saturday.
How did they get in?
That came from the other part of them. There are two of them here.
They've got ray guns. Fire toward those sounds. We've got to hit them before they hit us.
Be sure to join us next week for the thrilling story, The Tattooed Atom. Space Patrol, created by Mike Moser, starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston, produced and directed by Larry Robertson, executive producer Mike Devereux. Other players were Virginia Hewitt, Norman Jolly, and Ken Mayer. Dick Tufel speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday for exciting action on Space Patrol. Space Patrol was brought to you today by Rice Chex and Wheat Chex, the bite-sized cereals in the red and white checkerboard packages. Be sure to see another exciting Space Patrol program on your local ABC television station. Consult your newspaper for time and channel. This program is broadcast for Armed Forces overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Space Patrol came to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.